Hey everyone, and welcome back. We often think of the age of dinosaurs as a time when bigger was always better. But starting in the middle of the Jurassic and heading into the early Cretaceous period, something incredible began to happen. Dinosaurs weren't just scaling up, they were changing from the inside out. Some were getting smarter, some were getting faster, and a few were developing a feature that would completely redefine their legacy, a feature that connects them directly to our world today: feathers. This wasn't the end of the dinosaurs. It was the dawn of a radical transformation, one that would ultimately ensure their survival. For over a century, our image of a dinosaur was pretty fixed: giant, scaly, sluggish reptiles, like overgrown lizards baking in the sun. But starting in the 1990s, a wave of groundbreaking fossil discoveries, especially from China, shattered that old myth. These weren't just bones. They were exquisitely preserved imprints in stone that showed us what we'd been missing. We found dinosaurs with fuzzy, down-like coats covering their bodies. We found others with feathered arms, almost like primitive wings, and some even sported complex, multicolored plumage, just like modern birds. But here's the twist. These early feathers didn't evolve for flight. So what were they for? Scientists believe they served a variety of crucial purposes. Feathers provided excellent insulation, helping these dinosaurs maintain a stable body temperature. This is a huge clue that many were becoming warm-blooded, active animals, not cold, lumbering reptiles. They were also used for display, to attract mates or intimidate rivals, and for communication within their species. Feathers weren't about getting off the ground. They were about surviving on it. While colossal herbivores and giant carnivores ruled the open plains, a new kind of predator was emerging in the shadows. These were the dromaeosaurs, a family of dinosaurs that includes famous names like Utahraptor, Deinonychus, and of course, Velociraptor. These hunters traded sheer size for a different set of weapons: speed, agility, and a terrifying intelligence. Their brains were significantly larger relative to their body size compared to many of the giants they lived alongside. Fossil evidence points to highly advanced vision for spotting prey, lightning-fast reflexes for the chase, and even the possibility of coordinated pack hunting. In their world, a sharp mind and quick feet became just as deadly as a mouthful of giant teeth. They proved that you didn't have to be the biggest animal in the ecosystem to be the most dangerous. Speed completely rewrote the rules of survival. For these smaller, nimbler dinosaurs, being fast was everything. It allowed them to escape the clutches of larger predators that couldn't hope to keep up. It let them launch devastating surprise attacks, ambushing prey before it even knew what was happening. And it gave them the ability to navigate dense forests and complex terrain, exploiting niches and opportunities that the lumbering giants simply couldn't access. Their anatomy was perfectly engineered for this new lifestyle. They had lightweight, hollow bones to reduce their mass, long, stiff tails that acted as a counterbalance for sharp turns, and incredibly powerful leg muscles to generate explosive bursts of acceleration. These weren't slow-moving monsters. They were living missiles. The age of the sluggish reptile was officially over. So, what happens when you combine feathers, speed, and intelligence? You get the building blocks for something truly extraordinary. These incredible adaptations wouldn't just create a new type of hunter, they would build a bridge to a whole new world. Some of these dinosaurs were on the verge of taking to the skies, while others were developing the traits that would allow their descendants to survive the greatest. Have you ever wondered what happened after dinosaurs grew feathers? We know they used them for warmth, for show, and to intimidate rivals. But evolution wasn't done yet. For some dinosaurs, the next step wasn't just about running faster or hunting smarter. It was about leaving the ground entirely. This wasn't a sudden dramatic leap into the sky. Instead, it was a slow, beautiful transformation. a dance between gravity and survival, where the earth itself was the stage. So how exactly did feathers lead to flight? It's a fascinating story that starts much closer to the ground than you might think. Imagine a small feathered dinosaur sprinting through a prehistoric forest. Those early feathers weren't just for decoration. They acted like tiny rudders, providing crucial balance during high-speed chases. When it leaped, those feathered arms offered stability, helping it stay upright in midair, making a sharp turn to dodge a predator. The feathers on its arms and tail would flare out, giving it the control it needed to swerve without tumbling over. It was like having a built-in steering system. Over millions of years, some of these small theropods started using this advantage in a new way. They weren't flying, not yet, they were gliding. They would climb up a rock or a tree and then jump, using their feathered arms to catch the air and float down gently. This wasn't about soaring through the clouds. It was about practical, everyday survival. A controlled glide could help them escape a larger predator in a split second. It could mean the difference between a safe landing and a broken leg after a frantic leap. It even helped them pounce on unsuspecting prey from a higher vantage point. So the dream of flight didn't begin with a majestic ascent into the sky. It began with a series of small, controlled falls, each one a tiny victory in the ongoing struggle for life. This brings us to one of the most famous fossils ever discovered, Archaeopteryx. This creature is like a perfect snapshot of evolution in action. Found in Germany, Archaeopteryx lived about 150 million years ago and gives us a stunning glimpse into the transition from dinosaur to bird. When you look at its fossil, you see a creature of two worlds. It had beautifully preserved feathers arranged on its arms, just like a modern bird's wings. But that's where the simple comparison ends. Archaeopteryx also had a long, bony tail, a feature straight out of the dinosaur playbook. Its jaw was filled with sharp teeth, not a beak. And on its wings, it had 3 distinct, clawed fingers. It wasn't quite a bird, but it certainly wasn't just a dinosaur anymore. It was a bridge, a living, breathing link between two incredible groups of animals, proving that evolution doesn't happen in sudden jumps, but through a series of gradual, incremental changes. And Archaeopteryx wasn't alone. Paleontologists have found many other dino birds from this era, each one a different experiment in the new world of aerial locomotion. Some had shorter tails for better maneuverability. Others were developing lighter, hollower bones to reduce weight. And slowly but surely, their chest muscles were getting stronger, anchoring more powerful wings. Natural selection was acting like a master engineer, constantly refining the design, tweaking and improving the mechanics of flight with each new generation. For millions of years, these feathered dinosaurs thrived, sharing the world with their larger, more famous relatives. But then, about 66 million years ago, the world changed forever. An asteroid the size of a mountain slammed into the planet, triggering a global catastrophe. The impact ignited continent-sized firestorms, and the dust and soot thrown into the atmosphere plunged the Earth into a long, dark winter. Ecosystems collapsed, plants withered without sunlight, and the animals that depended on them starved. The age of the giant dinosaurs came to an abrupt and violent end. They were simply too big and too specialized to survive in this new, hostile world. But amid the devastation, a few lineages clung to life. The small, feathered, bird-like dinosaurs made it through. How? Their survival came down to a few key advantages. Their small size meant they needed far less food. They were incredibly adaptable, able to find shelter in small crevices or burrows. And crucially, their ability to fly or glide gave them unparalleled mobility. They could travel vast distances to find scarce resources, seeds, insects, or the remains of less fortunate creatures. In a world of chaos, flight wasn't just an advantage anymore. It was a lifeline. It was the ultimate escape plan. allowing them to rise above the destruction that consumed the giants below. So when you look up at the sky and see a sparrow, a pigeon, or an eagle, remember this incredible story. The story of the dinosaurs doesn't end with a fiery extinction. It continues every single day in the flutter of a wing and the melody of a song. Dinosaurs never truly left us. They just evolved, trading scales for feathers and the ground for the sky. They are the ultimate survivors, a testament to the relentless, creative power of evolution. And the world they came from, the Cretaceous period, was the peak of their reign, a time of incredible diversity and power. We'll explore that vibrant world in our next chapter. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing journeys into our planet's past.